What is going down, world? Welcome to the 40s. I go by the name Black Pegasus, and I'm all the way in Belgium with Belgium's #1 rap superstar.
Here we go again with this. Here we go again with this intro.
Nah, but he is the most poppin' Belgian YouTube reactor, I would say. I'd
say music reactor.
What's
Maybe music reactor. Specifically music.
Breakdown channel.
Music.
Anyways, Anthony Ray, welcome back, man.
Thank you for having me, sir.
We in the game now. We're
I love
in the
being
game.
a guest on this channel because then I don't have to do the intros and all the spiel.
Do you have an intro? You just be like, "Hi guys, today I'm checking out."
Kinda, yeah. But there are intros, but the whole like, go check out the original hibbity hibbity ha. We're checking this out on this channel. Substitute hibbity. I don't have to do that. I'm just laid back right now, and this is great.
This is true, and because you're mine, I walk the line. Oh, you haven't heard "Walk the Line"?
No, is that this?
No,
because you were talking about.
Maybe we'll do that, but I wanted to put you in front of Man in Black.
Oh, because you said. Okay, that's one you said. You said.
But I did say "Walk the Line."
And something about blues prison.
Oh, Folsom Blues Prison.
Yeah. You also talked about that.
But I saw you did one. You didn't title it though. It said.
I checked it out once on a live stream, but it was real quick. So.
Oh, it was just a
yeah.
clip
So I heard it, but I don't think I was really.
Okay.
I never posted it because I wasn't like analyzing at all. I was just listening to it. But yeah.
Gotcha. So I wanted to put you in front of Johnny Cash. I kind of mentioned how much I've kind of fallen in love with outlaw country in general because it just has like it honestly, the lyrics have a parallels to hip hop in my opinion.
Okay.
But my introduction to outlaw country, I would say, would be Johnny Cash. You know, then it kind of goes, I think, Hank Williams Jr. and then Waylon Jennings, some Merle Haggard. That's some other stuff for another day. But since you're a newbie, because I was looking, you've only reacted to Hurt and God's Gonna Cut You Down. Like, how much Johnny Cash have you heard? It doesn't seem like a lot.
Well, those two and the Folsom Prison Blues, I think. Yeah, those three.
Okay.
That's
so
it.
I thought this would be dope to put you in front of. Anyways, if you guys are here for a first-time reaction, we're going to react to Johnny Cash, the Man in Black, right now. Like, share, comment, subscribe. There's always a link in the description to the membership, which gives you early access to our reactions. I try to update that every day, and there is a big catalog of reactions already in there for you, so you could have some fun. And then, yeah, I'm watching this from Johnny Cash's official YouTube. I always try to tell you guys to go over there and watch that without us. What we're doing is not a substitute for the original. I know you're here for the reaction and commentary, but it is important to support the original. Let's get it popping, man. If you're ready, I'm ready. Check out some Johnny. Yanni, here's Johnny.
Look around the other day. I talked with several of you, and we asked each other a lot of questions. I asked you questions, you asked me questions, and an idea for a song started brewing then. And since I saw you last Saturday, I wrote this song. And I just finished writing this song, the 4th or 5th rewrite this morning, so that's why I've got to have the cards to remind myself of what the words are, the last version I wrote. This song is a very personal thing, I suppose you might say, but it's the way I feel about a lot of things. This song is called The Man in Black. Well, you wonder why I always dress in black, why you never see bright colors on my back, and why does my appearance always have a somber tone? Well, there's a reason for the things that I have on. I wear the black for the poor and the beaten down, living in the hopeless, hungry side of town. And I wear it for the prisoner who has long paid for his crime, but still is there because he's a victim of the times. I wear the black for those who've never read or listened to the words that Jesus said about the road to happiness through love and charity. Why, you'd think he's talking straight to you and me. Well, we're doing mighty fine, I do suppose, in our streak of lightning cars and fancy clothes. But just so we're reminded of the ones who are held back. Up front, there ought to be a man in black. I wear it for the sick and lonely old.
So you say to be reminded of the ones who are held back, there needs to be, up front, there needs to be a man in black, just as a reminder of all the things he mentioned, the poor, the unfortunate, something like that. See, I think it's in the God's Gonna Cut You Down music video where somebody's talking about Johnny Cash, because it's like all of these celebrities, right? And one of them says that Johnny always wore black. They say it in there. I think I had an idea of the reasoning behind it, but I didn't know it in depth. Like he actually explained it now. Yeah. This is why I'm wearing this. He has this it's very masculine, because it's also the depth in his voice. Yeah. But he doesn't sing. He's kind of just storytelling. Yeah. But there's some singing in there, of course, but it's just this, it's like somebody's telling a story. This is what it is. And that's not just with this, that's with the other songs as well. Also, I wanted to say, I know the person I'm going to mention is after Johnny Cash, but I grew up with the movies of Johnny Depp. And I'm seeing like Johnny Depp's mannerisms. I kind of see it with the Johnny Cash here. So I'm thinking maybe Johnny Depp was heavily inspired by Johnny Cash.
Or influenced, absolutely.
Inspired. Because it's just there's similarities in the way of speaking. Because I have never seen or heard Johnny Cash talk.
Oh, okay.
So that's the first time I've seen him say something in video. So, I don't know. That came to mind.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to take in there. I love the observations you made with Johnny Cash. And this is one of the reasons I love him. Because, and I don't know if he's an anomaly, but the fact that he doesn't have this crazy singing voice.
Yes.
Like you can match with him, but he is singing. But like you said, he's like storytelling. It's like he's talking. And it always tripped me out because I was not familiar with Johnny Cash's music like that until I started doing reactions. Now, some of his big songs you hear in the background of life and you're like, oh, I didn't know he did that song. But to see him on T-shirts, like iconic pictures, T-shirts, and he's one of those pictures where you see with Bob Marley, you know, Tupac, Johnny Cash, Elvis. Like he's in that iconic, you know, the middle finger one with Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I know that.
It's everywhere. We could go to a record shop here in Belgium and we're going to see a picture of Johnny Cash. And the thing is too, at the beginning of this song, he said, I just wrote this. I wrote this a week ago. And he's performing it for an audience. And he's like, yeah, that's why my cue cards are up. And I'm like, he's kind of cooking.
It's what he does.
Anyway, the other thing was he's well known. So this is what I think was that I didn't understand about the music industry. He writes songs for other people, but some of his bigger songs were written for him or some of his bigger performance. So it's so interesting how all this stuff is interchangeable. And I didn't realize that because coming from the rap space, it's always like, oh, you have to write your own stuff. And the collaboration for the writing part isn't really existent in that sense.
I did not know he wrote for others.
Yeah, he's written stuff where people, because I've done reactions, people be like, yo, Johnny Cash wrote that. So like,
do you have an example or something? Like anything?
Not right off the top of my head. What I do remember is like Chris Christopherson, Dolly Parton, Johnny Cash. These were people who were writers. And then, you know, so anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll get back into the song. We're rocking with Johnny Cash. I'm introducing Anthony Ray to the Man in Black for the first time. And yeah, we'll keep it moving.
In our streak of lightning, cars and fancy clothes. But just so we're reminded of the ones who are held back. Up front, there ought to be a man in black. I wear it for the sick and lonely old, for the reckless ones whose bad trip left them cold. I wear the black in mourning for the lives that could have been. Each week we lose 100 fine young men. And yes, I wear it for the thousands who have died, believing that the Lord was on their side. And wear it for another 100,000 believing that we all were on their side. Well, there's things that never will be right, I know. And things need changing everywhere you go. But till we start to make a move, to make a few things right, you'll never see me wear a suit of white. I'd love to wear a rainbow every day to tell the world that everything's okay. But maybe I can carry off a little darkness on my back till things are brighter. I'm the man in black.
Till things are brighter, I'm the man in black.
I don't know why I forgot how hard that goes.
He's preaching, man.
I mean, what's funny is it's absolutely relevant in 2026.
This will always be relevant.
Yep.
Always.
When you are able to express or talk about the human condition in that style of way, it's timeless, because it seems like we go through cycles. You know, I'm telling you, oh, this was my introduction to outlaw country. And, you know, hearing the word outlaw immediately thinks like, you know, I think breaking the law, criminal, but also like it's a mentality of being rebellious, you know, speaking out, you know, and kind of breaking the mold. And when he did that, so there's a line when he said, losing 100 whatever, essentially he was talking about dudes in war.
Yeah,
like, you know,
100 fine young men.
Yes. And when you think about that at this time, putting your sentiment about war in music and being such a popular culture figure, that's a thing. And actually watching this kind of scares me, because what happened was, in certain times in America, when America was involved in the wars that the American people did not agree with, all of the credible and big cultural figures at the time made music about it, sang against it, you know, and same with Britain.
That reminds me of Black Sabbath, Children of the Grave.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of that, which we did a couple days ago.
And the reason it scares me is because since this period, music has been so watered down. You have these really corny pop icons, and it's like, you know, it just doesn't translate. Like when someone like Johnny Cash is like, hey, this is how we feel about this war or this thing going on, this conflict in the world. And I feel like, I don't want to get tinfoil hat right now,
yeah,
because this is about the man in black and he cooked. But I think his message is so strong with me. It made me realize that I believe corporations really did go after killing music and trying to make it more pop friendly to sell records, but also to kill the messaging. Because all the iconic music and the cultural influences were pretty vocal about, let's say, the Vietnam War and stuff like that, you know? So
you're saying that it is somewhat brainstorming or propaganda, mainstream media, to distract us from what's going on or to keep us all in check?
I don't know if they planned it out like that, but there's manipulation and manufacturing of formulaic music that's been going on since the inception. But when you listen to radio,
mm-hmm.
when it's so rare to hear, like every now and then you'll have someone who's like extremely talented. I like Bruno Mars and let's say Ed Sheeran, you know, but their impact, it just seems different from this time period.
Manufactured.
Yeah, because like, think about this.
This seems authentic.
Yes, so we just heard what he said.
Yeah.
We've heard anti-war songs for Vietnam, etc. You got to think like Elvis did If I Can Dream for Martin Luther King. And it seemed like, I don't know, like I
have never heard that.
If I Can Dream? You sure?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. It's really good.
I think so.
But anyways, I'm rambling, but that's what that made me feel. It just reminded me of what legends and real artists do. And again, he stands out too, because he's not like hitting these crazy vocal notes. You know, he's not like Brian McKnight or Luther Vandross, you know? He's just out here.
I don't know who those. I don't know who those people are.
Oh yeah,
I'm very behind on the classics, really. Like you're the connoisseur.
That's
right
not even.
now.
That's like my R&B bag because I grew up listening.
Never was into R&B.
See, I grew up listening to black R&B and rap. That's what I listen to the most.
Yeah.
Because my parents listened to gospel, and then so the natural thing for me is like, you know, Brian McKnight, freaking Keith Sweat, Gerald Levert.
So that's the real R&B, not the R&B of like today or the late 2000s.
Maybe I'll put you in front of Luther, man.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you'll like it or not, but whatever.
Maybe, yeah.
All right, you guys, we rambling, but that's a first time reaction with your boys. We out here in Belgium. The man in black does it every time, yo. Johnny Cash is the truth. You want to say anything before we ride off into the sunset?
I just appreciate being here and listening to this good music and kind of educating myself as somebody with a community. I think it is our responsibility to just educate ourselves about the music.
Sure.
And not just listen to the new stuff and also dive into the classics.
Yeah, so, facts.
Yeah. And appreciating the music. So, yeah.
All right, you guys, that's what it is. We are going to round the bend and catch you on the next one.